Hello and welcome. Can you hear me clearly? Okay. Okay, you can see me. Can you hear me too? Okay. So this session is about the Physalis Build Cloud and about compiling HTML5 apps with Apache Cordova. Apache Cordova, we will see what it is. So I start with the slides. First, we'll make a motivation and I will explain what Apache Cordova is. And so we have technical problems here. Okay. I pushed the sound off because I hear me speaking myself 1 minute after and it is disturbing. So I begin again. This session is about Physalis Build Cloud. And it's about compiling HTML5 apps with Apache Cordova. So to motivate it first, I want to explain what Apache Cordova is. Start with the slides. You want to ask something, write it in the ERC because I can't hear you. I pushed the sound off. Okay. So what's Apache Cordova? Apache Cordova is it's a hybrid cross-platform tool which allows to match HTML5 apps for iPhone, for Android, for Windows Phone, and for Ubuntu. And so it's a set of APIs which allows to access native devices like the camera or like the accelerator meter. It's also a tool that allows to compile the HTML5 application so that at the end you can have a running application on Android or on Ubuntu. The slide that you see here is taken from the talk about web apps and Apache Cordova from Ubuntu Online Summit last year. The main problem with Apache Cordova is that you have to install the SDK, and this can be difficult. Okay. So in the case of Ubuntu Phone, you have to install the click change root first. This can be quite difficult, and it's even much more complex when you have to install the SDK for all the platforms you're building for. For example, for Android, you want to use several versions at the same time. You can have conflicts. And it's even more harder when you want to compile an application for iPhone or for Windows Mobile. In this case, you need even several laptops to compile the application. And the Physalis Build Cloud, it's a pre-configured build server, which allows to easily compile the application. You enter a Git URL and you get several artifacts that you can install on your phone. So I show now how an Apache Cordova app can be built. It's a little demo. It's also possible to try it out live because the web page is running. What you see here is the web UI. The address is physalis.io. I made the login now. There's no username password asked because logging and authentication is made with GitHub. So I log in. This view shows all projects that that I have configured. So I made a project which is named Barcode Scanner and a project which is named Green Maillon. And we will now create a new project. There are two kinds of project. Only the first kind works for the moment. It's a public project. You will see later what it is. Here, we can now enter the name of an application. So I will make I want to compile an application which is named Green RSS. And Physalis asked for a Git URL. So I go on GitHub. I have this Apache Cordova application here with a source code. I take the HTTPS clone URL here and then can paste it. So I paste it here, push this button to create the project. And here I can push pull and build. And then the application is cloned by the build server, and the application is built so that at the end it delivers an executable file. So the thing is that in this case, for the moment, it will only create an executable file for Android because I didn't have the time to configure the Ubuntu build server. But later, I don't know, next week or so, it will be possible to compile at the same time for Android and for Ubuntu. Check the IRC if there's something. Okay. And rewrite it takes something like 30 to 40 seconds to compile an application. Here you see that the Android build is in progress. There is a JavaScript which automatically checks the state of a building. And when it's completed, there will be, yes, you see it here, the link. This is, when you click on it, you can download the compiled application. I click it. This happens because I still have no HTTPS SSL certificate. And if I approve it, here it is. That's the APK file which I could download. If there's some question, asking the IRC widget. Yes, there's a question from Balloons. Yes, it's exact. Git is needed for the moment to. Yes, you need to provide a Git URL to build the application, and I want to allow also the use of SUN and SVN and Buzzer too. I provide a little bit more details on the Physalis Build Cloud. So first, the license is MIT. It's a very free license. It's possible to take the Physalis Build Cloud and push it on your own server and build your application yourself with it. The cloud, that URL that I show, is free to use. And so you can, everyone can create an account and compile its app for free. All apps are downloadable. I'll show that here. That's the trade-off. When you go onto Explore, you see all apps from all users. So these are public projects. It's everyone who wants can make a public project, and it's possible to download all of them. The technologies used, the software is written in Scala. For the moment, it only runs on Amazon Web Service. And it uses, as I said, Apache Cordova to compile the apps. And the Apache Cordova instance or Docker are run with Docker. Now, if you know Docker, Docker is something like a virtual machine, but it is not one because it's much faster. And it allows to create a build environment and run it on different kind of Linux distribution. About the security, there are no passwords saved. Authentication, authorization are made with an external provider. Okay, there's a question. Does Physalis auto-build and import as well? So when I import a project, it will simply build. When you enter a project, Physalis will search for a config XML file and simply build the project. So there's an auto import of a project done in that way. So the build workflow. So this explains what is what Physalis does. At the top of the graphic, you see the front end. It's where the user enters the name of its app and the URL, the Git URL to build. And the building task is done by worker services. And they are different. You can have many of them. Here you see a Ubuntu Worker service, a Firefox OS Worker build service, and an Android build services. And they clone Git repositories, and the compiling is done by such a Docker container. The result of this is saved in Amazon S3 as a URL where it can be downloaded by the user later. Okay, so this is a little bit out topic. I mentioned several times that I use Docker to compile applications. I made the thing is that I made Docker images that everyone can use to compile its Apache Cordova applications for Ubuntu, and so it's possible to compile an Apache Cordova app for Ubuntu even if you don't use Ubuntu. Imagine you are under Windows or under Red Hat and want to compile with this command line. You could create an Apache Cordova build. No, Apache Cordova application. Okay, there's a question about from Balloons, if the application needs to be open source. No, it doesn't need to be open source. For the moment, it's so that all applications must be public, and so everyone can download them, but they do not need to be open source. You can also have a closed source application. The only thing is that everyone will be able to download it. If someone is interested in making applications which are not downloadable, he can send me an email. I can arrange that. Future work. So the near-term work, which is yeah, there are only a few things left to do. In fact, I have to get a SSL certificate. I have to configure the Ubuntu and the Firefox build worker. And what is really important too, that should be done before the application is used by more users, is that a user should be able to see the compiling logs. This is really important when something goes wrong, so that the user can understand why the application doesn't compile. Medium-term work. I want to actually, it's so that you need a Git URL to build a project. I want to also support Bazaar and SVN, and perhaps also zip files. I want to add authentication with Google and OpenID. Very important is that your user should be able to sign the applications. And yeah, there's that support for closed projects, which I will do later. The closed projects are always supported, but they are not supported in the user interface. They are things that I must do. And a quite big part of the work what I will have to do later is that I want to make sample apps to start with. They will be on GitHub. I want sample apps for Ubuntu HTML5 app, a platform game with Phaser, a barcode scanner, so that a user can very fastly enter that Git URL in Physalis, get the build done, and then change the app in the way he needs. And this would allow the user to start very fastly creating new apps. Long-term work, iPhone and Microsoft Windows Phone support. I plan also at creating a to-do charm so that if someone wants to run Physalis on his own server, he can do it very easily. So the configuration should be easy. And perhaps another feature which I could do is integrate Physalis Build Cloud in IDEs like Qt Creator or the Ubuntu SDK and in Eclipse, so that when you have something like a Apache Cordova project you created, and then you make right-click, choose build in the cloud, and get the click files at the end. Okay, there's a question about the requirements of a project. The needs. Okay. What requirement does a project need to successfully build at the moment? The project need to be a valid Apache Cordova project. So the source code layout is important, and the configuration files too. It will compile when Apache Cordova compiles it. Yes. Yes, exactly. There's nothing beyond Apache Cordova. The thing is that what is beyond Apache Cordova is that it's easy to use, and that in the future you will have a lot of platforms. Okay, there's a question when the site will be live. It is live actually. It's possible to use it, and it's possible to create Android applications with it. It will be possible to create Ubuntu applications with it in the coming week. Okay, there's another question. If there is a commercial solution already for this, and yes, there is. There is a commercial solution for Adobe, which is named PhoneGap, but it doesn't support Ubuntu and it doesn't support Firefox. The difference between PhoneGap and Physalis is that yes, Physalis support these platforms first, and second is that it's open source. So you can rely on the build cloud, but you can also install that build cloud on your own server and run it yourself. Okay, there's a question for balloons about if users will be able to build only for one platform, or if I will always get builds for all platforms. I wanted first to make builds for all platforms, because it has no disadvantages for the user only as a disadvantage. It's only bad for a server, but I think it should be fast enough to handle the load. Later, I will ask, I think, user interface element to only build for the platform that someone wants. But at the beginning, it will support all platforms. It will build for all platforms. I pushed the camera off because the connection is too slow. I apologize for that. Are there other questions? Okay, I see no other question, but I don't know if my connection is so slow that perhaps everyone is still hearing what I'm saying. Okay, if there are no questions, I will stop Hangout. Okay, this is this is a nice question. It's about if there's a way to test the resulting builds, even if you don't have a device or platform to run it. And that's a problem. So if I imagine a Windows user wants to port his application to Ubuntu, and so he developed his application for Android, and because it really means yeah, it's not a lot of work to port it. He simply enters it in Physalis and takes the build and the click file, and he doesn't know if it works. And as far as I know, the Android emulator isn't running on Windows, or it only runs on Ubuntu. So that's a problem, I think. I hope that there will be possible. It will be possible to find a solution for it. But yeah, I hope that Ubuntu will do something here. But I can look into it too if there is time later. All right, if there are other questions. Okay, I have a question. If there's anything someone can do to verify if to verify the build once it's built, and um, you cannot verify it without device. I think, and because the emulator doesn't work on the Windows, and it doesn't work as far as I know on the OS X ever. So it's difficult to verify if it's work. One way would be to log in into IRC and ask someone if he wants to try it out. But yes, what is possible is, of course, if an Android user wants to try it out with Android, he can use his own devices. And from my experience, it's so that normally an Apache Cordova application works for everything. Okay. Yes, and the thing is, when Apache Cordova compiled the application, normally it works because an Apache Cordova application is only HTML5 and JavaScript, and it accesses some, for example, camera also. And there is not a lot that can go wrong. When at the end, you got the web page that is displayed in an application, and it should work. But yeah, it's hard to. Okay, there's the question: is the result, is the build, the binary will be fast, or if it will be quite slow because of some bloat, I don't know, much code that is not used, and it's not the case. It's possible to make applications which are quite small. For example, I have a RSS application, and it makes something like 2 megabytes, I think, and it's quite fast. In most of the cases, you don't see the difference between such an HTML5 application and a native application. And share the slides so that Canonical can put them somewhere on their homepage, I don't know. And if someone has a question, he can also add me on Google+. Okay. Okay, so apparently there are no other questions. I propose that we stop here then. It's a little bit unfortunate that the connection was that slow, but yeah, it's so no. Thank you a lot for him.